The biggest things that trap a man, that destroy a man's family, destroy his health, destroy his life, is pornography. A pornography addiction will absolutely decimate you. You got to think about it, man. It is the greatest thing. Like the strongest man, the richest man, the wisest man, all three of them in the Bible have all fallen to lust. And so things like porn and Pornhub and all the websites and all this stuff, lusting after women, OnlyFans, this whole culture that we have in America in 2026, it is destructive beyond what you can imagine. It has created dopamine spikes in the minds of people at such high levels where they cannot get over it. They cannot operate in a world without it. They need it. And you don't understand, but it is destroying any type of a relationship that you have with your significant other too. Like, if you're a man who's married to a woman, she can literally feel that your performance is less. How is your performance less? Well, you are you are tired. You don't want to actually get involved in the act of making love. And so instead, you'd rather masturbate. So every time you make love, it becomes a little bit more of a chore. It's not as quick, it's not as easy. It's not about the actual connection anymore. It's about just release. It's about just dopamine spike. It's about just scratching an itch. And in fact, then the expectations of your partner become unrealistic because you're looking at other women that aren't even, they're not even real. I mean, they're real people, sure. But number one, we already know how people look on camera is not really how they look in, real life. Number two, these are caricatures of real people. Most of them are lost and broken to a degree that you wouldn't even want to be around them anyway. And, in real life, there's something really beautiful about a relationship with a natural woman who is truly in love with you and is there for you for the right reasons, right? And a lot of men, they forget about that and it just becomes this weird sexual thing that just ultimately puts them into this really just kind of difficult position overall. So, here's the thing. In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 28, it says, "But I say to you, anyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery in his heart." Like, I want you to think about every single time you've ever masturbated. You have committed adultery. Every single time you looked at a woman on OnlyFans or on Instagram scrolling, look at her shaking, whatever, doing whatever, riding a bike, just trying to get your attention. She's at the gym doing those squats. You're committing adultery. Like, I want you to realize that. And I want you to realize that after that's done and you go and spend time with your significant other, you're lost, man. Like, you're looking at her, she has lost the value in your eyes. She's not exciting to you. But like the reality is, man, you're not realizing how it's destroying your marriage. And then it's affecting her. And because it's affecting her, she responds to you in a negative way. She's not as loving. She's not as caring. She's not as lighthearted. And so the real question is, what happens if you don't stop? Like, what happens if you just don't stop? What happens if you continue down this road? See, in 1 John chapter 2, verse 16, it says, "For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but of the world." This is a direct call to identify lust as a worldly trap. That is one of the things that the devil uses to trap you. And so you're being completely tricked by the devil himself every time you open up that app. Every time you get stuck watching, every time you have an urge and that you act on, the devil has gotten you further away from God. But how do we fix this? What would happen in a world where you just didn't do that anymore? Like, what would happen in a world? How much more pure would your relationship with your wife be? How much more attracted would you be to her if that was your only source of release was your wife? Right? Like, how much more interested would you be in that? How much more engaging? How much more beautiful would your intimate time with your significant other be in that space? And so that's what you need to be striving for. You need to make it so you never have any type of, you know, interaction or there's no connection. Like, you don't see a naked body. You don't see another person physically naked. You just don't see it. You don't think about that. Instead of thinking about lust, think about earning money. Think about taking care of your family. Think about opening up the Bible, getting into the Word of God. Think about becoming a better husband, a better father. Think about building something. The problem with a lot of guys is they have time for lust. They have time. They're bored. But if you're not bored, if you don't have time for these things because you're too busy with things that are more important, it actually not only changes your reality because it puts you in a position where you're working harder on things that are important, you're making money, you're creating change, you're leaving impacts, but your relationship becomes better too. Your relationship becomes better. So, like, understand that if you're a man struggling with a porn addiction, it comes down to a couple of things. Number one, accountability. You need to hold yourself accountable, but you need someone else to hold you accountable too, which means you need brotherhood because you can't just tell anybody about this situation. Like, you need people that you trust, people that you love, people that believe in you, people that love you, and that you can work with to help you. It's hard though, because if you're at church, so you want to tell your pastor and your people at church because they judge you and talk to their wives and all these other things. You don't want to talk to your wife about it because she's going to get hurt. Who do you talk to? That's why Before the Apple exists, to have brotherhood. That's my program, and I work with men to help them with things like this. Because the truth is, your issues with lust and pornography, it's not just lust and pornography, it's discipline. Discipline overall is your major issue. And so, if you can sit here and rebuild your discipline as a man, it's going to fix your lust problem, your marriage problems, your communication issues, your physical fitness, your money problems, all these things. It fixes everything if you can master your discipline. And I'm here to help you. So if you found this video to be, helpful whatsoever, check out the description, jump on my calendar or join my community, work with me directly to battle lust, to destroy it forever. Because you don't have to be a victim to it. You don't have to be that guy. You can, in fact, become a man who is honorable and who loves his wife and honors his wife and doesn't commit adultery. Now, you might think, well, it's not adultery, but we learn in the Bible that it is. Stop being a cheater. It's time to be a man of character. And real men, they just don't do that, bro. And I'm here to help you. Check out the description. Make sure you guys subscribe, like this video. Appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody.